we didn't have a lot of ego in our group, and I think that was the game changer. And I think going into 2025, you got to think about that. Sorry. It dropped.
Kelsey Mitchell just said the quiet part out loud, and it might have just broken Caitlin Clark. It happened during an interview that was supposed to be lighthearted, but what Kelsey said about her own teammate set the entire WNBA on fire.
All right, we have no other than Kelsey Pistol Mitchell live on the Sue Bird podcast, I believe Bird's Eye View, and she's addressing what it's like being Caitlin Clark's teammate, the fit on the floor. How are you fitting on the floor? Is this something that can work going forward?
She didn't just talk about basketball. She hinted at leadership problems, chemistry issues, and something much deeper, a growing divide inside the Indiana Fever locker room. And fans immediately caught it, because behind Kelsey's calm voice and careful phrasing, there was something sharp, something personal. When she said what she said, she wasn't just talking about the team. She was talking about Caitlin Clark and how she never tried to be bigger than anyone else.
In your locker room. So what do you think, or do you feel like people sometimes just like overlook your leadership specifically and your impact on the team from like a chemistry standpoint, because there's just so many narratives. So like, do you think people are overlooking that?
I think that in a short, yeah. I think naturally, yes, because of the society, the social media, and how bad, people take to social media and abuse it in the wrong realm of light. And so I think that's one part of it. But I also think that it was an adjustment period. And I talked to, the FIBA organization about this. It's like, I think it was an adjustment period that, we all should have adjusted to throughout the course of the organization. I think that, that was big for everybody. Pacers Entertainment, FIBA organization. I felt like at that time, there was a lot of,
Yeah, there has to be an adjustment. You got the biggest star in women's sports coming onto the team. And it's now, and wherever she go, it's her show. So everybody got to find a role. Batman is there. You can be Robin, or y'all got to figure out what y'all gonna be. It's as simple as that. But obviously there's a huge adjustment when Caitlin Clark joins the team. It sounds like Kelsey Mitchell had conversations with the ownership or the higher ups about what was about to take place or what was taking place.
At first, it sounded respectful, but if you listen closely, that's not praise. That's a warning shot. See, that phrase, not being bigger than the team, is code. It means Caitlin didn't take over. She didn't force her will. She didn't act like the generational talent she is. And to many, that sounded like Kelsey calling her soft.
FIBA organization, I felt like at that time, there was a lot of, role playing that had to be, situated. I feel like, when something that big or someone that big who has that much impact comes into something, there are a lot of adjustments that people have to make on the floor, off the floor, in the locker room, in the training room. Just a lot of stuff is a lot of moving parts. And I think the biggest part that I respected about Caitlin is that
everybody needed to play their role, including you. And you know what sucks is I feel like not the first year when you first, because Erica Wheeler was doing a lot of bonehead stuff that first year too, but she was a good teammate. That post-Olympic break, man, you and Caitlin Clark was like peanut butter and jelly, man. It was like, what I'm saying? It was like butter on toast. It was magical.
Think about it. Every basketball dynasty was built around one player refusing to blend in. Michael Jordan didn't worry about being bigger than the Bulls. LeBron didn't hold back when he joined Miami. Kobe didn't ask permission to lead. They took control. They demanded excellence. They made their teams rise to their level. But Kelsey Mitchell? She basically said Caitlin Clark came in too quiet, too respectful, too eager to fit in.
She never was bigger than the program. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, it wasn't like she wasn't trying to take over. It wasn't, I don't know how to explain that. You know what I'm trying to say though?
Yeah, no, I know what you're trying to say. It's like she knows who she is. She comes in. She's going to obviously do her part because that's what being a professional athlete is. But with the understanding of fitting into a team, making sure we fit, making sure we have chemistry. So it's never bigger than like the group
it's like
itself.
She wasn't trying to be bigger than everybody. Like,
see, because she know Caitlyn is comfortable with who she is. She knows she the biggest thing moving and smoking. Like, she don't have to come be arrogant. She's not an arrogant person. So she's not gonna be that way with you guys. But y'all need to play y'all role though. Like understand why all these cameras is around. Understand why all these people are here. Y'all gotta understand that.
The irony? That humility is exactly what made Caitlyn so beloved in college. But in the pros, it's becoming her biggest weapon and her biggest weakness. Because here's the truth. The Indiana Fever had 5 months to prepare for the most famous rookie in women's basketball history. 5 months to build a system that could maximize her passing, her shooting, and her leadership. And yet when Caitlyn arrived, the team looked lost. Roles weren't clear. The offense didn't fit. And players like Kelsey were left to adjust on the fly. So what happened? Caitlyn Clark walked into a locker room where veterans expected her to earn respect instead of being given control. The organization treated her like a rookie when she was already the most important player in the league. And that tension between talent and hierarchy is tearing the Fever apart from the inside. When Kelsey called Caitlyn her little sister, it sounded friendly. But in sports, that's hierarchy talk. It means I've been here longer. You still have things to learn.
The time I've spent with Caitlyn, like she definitely has like, oh, you're like my little sister.
yes.
Because she likes to like, you know, talk about
She plays a
basketball
lot.
and kind of troll a little bit.
My
Yeah,
goodness.
exactly.
You talking about a kid in the candy store? That's Caitlyn.
Except Caitlyn isn't just any rookie. She's the most accomplished player to ever enter the WNBA. She broke every major college record. She sells out every arena she walks into. She's not supposed to fit in. She's supposed to lead. And that's the problem. The Fever didn't build a team around Caitlyn Clark. They made her adjust to them. Head coach Stephanie White even said publicly that her priority was Kelsey Mitchell, not the rookie who transformed the entire league's viewership overnight. Imagine being the face of women's basketball, and your own coach says you're not the priority. Meanwhile, Kelsey was being given full freedom, more shots, more control, more space to dominate. And Caitlyn? She was stuck trying to make it all work without stepping on toes. For a while, it did work. After the Olympic break, when they finally started letting Caitlyn run the offense, the Fever looked unstoppable. They were dropping 100 points a game. Caitlyn was dishing out double-digit assists, and Kelsey was thriving alongside her. But as soon as things shifted back to the old hierarchy, the chemistry vanished. And now, with one interview, Kelsey has reminded everyone where she thinks she stands. She's the veteran. Caitlyn's the rookie. And the Fever's leadership seems fine keeping it that way. But that dynamic doesn't last forever. Caitlyn Clark is in a no-win situation. When she takes over, she's called selfish. When she passes too much, she's called soft. And when she tries to keep the peace, the team still implodes. She's stuck in a system that refuses to evolve. Meanwhile, fans can see it plain as day. The offense doesn't fit her strengths. The plays don't showcase her range. The spacing doesn't work. And somehow, when things go wrong, the blame still falls on her. That's not leadership. That's sabotage disguised as teamwork. Think about how great teams handled superstars. The Warriors didn't ask Steph Curry to tone it down. They rebuilt the entire system around him. The Lakers didn't make Kobe fit in. They gave him the keys. The Fever? They've done the opposite. They're protecting egos instead of greatness. And you can feel the frustration building. Caitlyn's too professional to say it out loud, but her body language says it all. The sighs, the forced smiles, the quiet moments on the bench while Kelsey runs isolation plays that stall the offense. It's not about jealousy, it's about respect. Caitlyn Clark deserves to lead this team. She's earned it. But instead, she's being treated like a guest in her own house. So where does this go next? Kelsey just signed a 1-year deal. She's betting on herself, on being the #1 option. Stephanie White has doubled down, saying publicly that Kelsey is still her priority. That leaves Caitlyn with 3 options. She can keep being the ultimate team player, defer, stay quiet, hope things magically click. That's the safe choice, the nice girl route. But it leads to mediocrity, not legacy. Or she can demand change, tell the front office that this system isn't working, insist the offense runs through her, and risk being labeled difficult. That's the bold choice, the one that great players eventually have to make. And then there's the third option, the nuclear one. Leave. Force a trade. Find a team that actually understands what they have. Build a dynasty somewhere else. Because if we've learned anything from sports history, it's that greatness doesn't wait for permission. Jordan didn't. Kobe didn't. LeBron didn't. Every legend faces that moment. The moment where being liked and being great no longer mean the same thing. Caitlin Clark is standing at that exact crossroads right now. Will she keep fitting in, or will she finally take over? Because if she does, everything changes. For Indiana, for the WNBA, and for every young girl watching her story unfold. If you're still watching, drop "Clark deserves better" in the comments.
And I'm here to tell you, man, there has been a lot of drama today behind the scenes of the W. Now we got Sophie Cunningham talking trash about Angel Reese. We got A'ja Wilson. Man, we got a bunch to talk about, guys. For this one here, there has been a lot of drama going on behind the scenes, man. A'ja Wilson firing shots at Aaliyah Boston. We got Sophie Cunningham in serious hot water.
One lighthearted joke. Call me Angel Reese. And suddenly, the entire league is on fire. She's being called racist, jealous, a clout chaser. But what if this innocent joke wasn't a mistake at all, and actually exposed something way darker about women's basketball?
This is wild. Sophie Cunningham has everybody up in arms. Everybody's up in arms. They calling her a clout chaser. They're calling her racist. All types of stuff. All types of stuff. Sophie knows how to stir the pot. Shots fired at Angel Reese.
Because what happened next didn't just reveal a social media meltdown. It revealed the double standard no one in the WNBA wants to talk about. Let's break this down. It all started when Sophie Cunningham was on her podcast talking about her new diet. She mentioned cutting out gluten, eating chicken, and joked, "I guess I'm turning into a Victoria's Secret model. Call me Angel Reese." That was it. 7 harmless words. And the internet went nuclear.
A huge one I forgot to mention is gluten, which is in every carb pretty much possible. And I know they make like gluten-free stuff, but that tastes weird to me. I can still eat chicken. That's good. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be kind of turning into a rabbit. So I don't know. I guess I'm going to turn into a Victoria's Secret model. Call me Angel Reese.
Within hours, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok exploded. People accuse Sophie of mocking Angel's body, of being jealous of her modeling success, of punching up for attention. And within a day, the comment section was a war zone. Race got dragged into it immediately. People called Sophie racist, insecure, and desperate for clout. But here's where things get interesting, and it's the part almost everyone missed. Because Sophie Cunningham didn't stumble into controversy. She created it, on purpose. See, Sophie isn't just a player anymore. She's building a media brand. She's 1/3 of a podcast called Tres Leches. She's entering the media space, and she knows exactly what gets people talking. Controversy creates engagement. Engagement builds brand value. And in 2025, no names drive more engagement than Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. By mentioning Angel, Sophie instantly inserted herself into the league's most viral conversation. It wasn't random, it was strategic. She knew what she was doing. Think about it. Angel Reese is one of the most recognizable faces in sports right now. She walked the Victoria's Secret runway. She's got national sponsorships, millions of followers, and mainstream attention that few WNBA players have ever reached. By jokingly calling herself Angel Reese, Sophie put herself right in the center of that spotlight. And every reaction, good or bad, only boosted her relevance. The people screaming clout chaser are actually proving her point, because we're talking about her right now. And that's exactly what she wanted. But beneath that, there's something much deeper going on. And it's what has longtime WNBA fans divided. Because the outrage over Sophie's joke revealed a double standard that's been brewing for years. When Caitlin Clark does media appearances, people say she's distracted. When Angel Reese does them, she's building her brand. When Sophie Cunningham makes a joke about it, she's racist. Same actions, different reactions. And that's not a coincidence. It's a reflection of how fractured the WNBA's culture has become. People want to talk about growth, visibility, and unity. But behind the scenes, there's resentment, division, and hypocrisy. It's not just about basketball anymore. It's about who's allowed to say what. Now, let's zoom out, because around the same time Sophie's clip went viral, another star, Aja Wilson, was caught up in her own controversy.
To the next story, and that, my friends, is this one. So somebody sent me this. This was Aaliyah Boston, basically being attacked by Aja Wilson. So Aja Wilson shared this on her story. She stated, "The only special whistle I know."
At the Las Vegas Aces Championship celebration, Aja grabbed a whistle and said, "The only special whistle I know." She was mocking critics who accused her of getting special treatment from referees. But here's the problem. That game she's joking about, she shot 19 free throws. That's more than the entire Phoenix Mercury team combined. Let that sink in. One player had more free throws than an entire roster. And instead of addressing that reality, Aja laughed it off. She mocked the criticism. Now compare the reactions. Sophie makes a harmless joke and gets destroyed. Aja mocks legitimate officiating bias, and people cheer her on. No outrage, no accusations, no cancellation. It's the same pattern, just in reverse. Some players get protected, others get punished. And the result is a credibility problem the WNBA can't ignore anymore. Caitlin Clark gets hammered on the court with no calls. Aja Wilson gets breathed on, and the refs blow the whistle. Aaliyah Boston gets hacked in the paint. Nothing. Meanwhile, Aja's mocking those who even question it. And the fans see it. They see the bias. They see the favoritism. And they're losing trust. Because how can a league grow when its stars are treated differently? Not based on performance, but on popularity and perception. Back to Sophie. Her joke didn't destroy Angel Reese. It destroyed the illusion that this league plays fair, in competition or in conversation. People can pretend it's about a joke, but the truth is, this was about control, about who's allowed to comment, who's allowed to laugh, who's allowed to exist in the spotlight without being torn down. Sophie's words were never cruel, they were calculated. She saw what Angel did, turning fame into business, and she followed the same playbook. That's not jealousy, that's smart. But here's the uncomfortable truth that everyone's avoiding. When Angel Reese leverages her fame, she's praised. When Sophie does it, she's punished. And that double standard is exactly why this story caught fire. Because deep down, fans aren't mad that Sophie made a joke. They're mad that she used the same system others use and made it work. That's the hypocrisy at the heart of women's basketball right now. You can talk about empowerment, equality, and growth. But if one joke can cause this much chaos, it shows how fragile everything really is. The WNBA used to be about basketball. Now it's about the drama around basketball. Every headline is controversy. Every conversation is racial. Every rivalry turns into something bigger than the game. And here's the kicker. The drama works. It's growing the league. It's drawing new fans. It's keeping everyone talking. But it's also burning out the people who came for the sport. The ones who just want to watch great basketball without turning every moment into a social war. That's what makes this story so fascinating, because Sophie Cunningham knew exactly what she was doing. She didn't take down Angel Reese. She used her name to expose the culture that rewards controversy and punishes honesty. And that's the part no one wants to admit. This wasn't a slip of the tongue. It was a mirror. A perfectly timed, perfectly placed reflection of everything the WNBA is right now. Brilliant, messy, divided, and addicted to drama. Sophie's joke didn't destroy Angel Reese. It destroyed the illusion that women's basketball is united. It proved that in this league, the most dangerous thing you can do is tell a joke that hits too close to the truth. So the next time you see a WNBA headline exploding across social media, ask yourself, is it outrage or is it strategy? Because in this new era, players like Sophie Cunningham aren't just playing the game, they're mastering the media that controls it. If you're still watching, drop hashtag #CallMeAngel in the comments. Let's see how many people actually get what Sophie really did.
First of all, let's just take a moment to appreciate this. Angel Reese, the first professional athlete to ever walk the Victoria's Secret fashion show runway. Yeah, that's right. I made history. Again. I told everyone I was the Bayou Barbie. I never said which court I'd be dominating next. One week I'm grabbing rebounds, the next week I'm grabbing hearts. And let's be honest, Caitlin Clark could never. This runway requires elegance, rhythm, and just the right amount of attitude. She's got the jump shot, but I've got the walk shot. People ask me if I was nervous walking alongside supermodels. Please. I've been walking over defenders my entire career. This was just with better lighting and heels. I'm proud to represent athletes everywhere, proving we can dunk and still look like $1 billion doing it. So to all my fans out there, celebrate me, love me, adore me. Because the Reese era is not just taking over basketball, it's taking over the world.
Caitlin Clark just did the unthinkable. The WNBA's biggest star didn't just make basketball history, she's now breaking into golf. Reports confirm Caitlin Clark just signed a multi-million-dollar LPGA contract, and the entire sports world is losing its mind.
She is back. Caitlin Clark is going to tee it up again at the Annika, driven by Gainbridge at Pelican Pro-Am this November.
But while fans are celebrating, one person isn't: Angel Reese. The moment this deal dropped, the internet exploded. Headlines, debates, reactions everywhere. Clark just became the first active WNBA player to land a cross-league deal this big. And Angel Reese, she's spiraling. Because this isn't just about golf, it's about jealousy, power, and a rivalry that's now crossing into brand territory. And it's only getting uglier from here. Let's start with what actually happened. Caitlin Clark, the face of the Indiana Fever and the driving force behind WNBA ratings, just signed a multi-year partnership with the LPGA Tour.
Now, it's being reported that Caitlin Clark will return to the Annika to participate in the LPGA Tour Pro Amateur event on November the 12th. Tournament officials announced this past Thursday, which is today. This news just came out maybe about 5 to 10 minutes ago. This is big time news, and I'm telling you right now, this is going to break the damn internet.
Not a cameo, not a photo op, a real strategic contract that runs through the 2026 season. Sources say it's valued between $6 and $8 million, including Nike golf endorsements, cross-sport events, and shared marketing rights. That means Caitlin's officially in 2 professional leagues at once, basketball and golf. And with one announcement, she became the crossover queen of women's sports. For most athletes, that kind of success would be inspiring. For Angel Reese, it was gasoline on the fire. Moments after the deal went public, Angel tweeted, "I can play golf too." No tags, no context, but everyone knew who she was talking about. It wasn't subtle, it was shade. Fans instantly fired back. Just say you're jealous. Clark's living rent-free in your head. The replies were brutal. Within minutes, Reese's tweet was trending for all the wrong reasons. It wasn't seen as funny or playful, it looked desperate. And here's where it gets interesting. Reese didn't even mention Clark's name, but that's become her pattern. Every time Caitlin wins, Angel reacts. It happened at the draft. It happened opening week. And now it's happening again, because deep down, Angel Reese knows what this deal means. Caitlin Clark is evolving beyond basketball. She's building an empire. While Angel's brand is stuck fighting online battles, Caitlin's building generational wealth, and she's doing it without saying a word. The difference between them has never been clearer. Caitlin Clark plays the long game. Her brand is built on professionalism, humility, and consistency. She lets her performance and composure speak louder than any tweet ever could. Angel Reese? She's made her name through controversy. Her brand thrives on reactions, drama, and online chaos. But drama doesn't sell long-term. Discipline does. That's why Nike, the LPGA, and every major sponsor keeps choosing Caitlyn. She's safe, authentic, and universally appealing. Parents trust her, kids idolize her, brands love her. Even golf fans, who rarely cross over with basketball, are celebrating her arrival. Analysts are calling it the best crossover since Steph Curry started swinging a driver. Everywhere Caitlyn goes, ratings spike, tickets sell, and merch flies off shelves. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is stuck fighting a perception problem. Her critics call her entitled. Her supporters call her misunderstood. But either way, the headlines aren't flattering. Every time she posts, the internet splits in half, and not in the way that builds a brand. The truth is simple. Caitlyn Clark is changing how female athletes are marketed. She's become the blueprint for multi-sport female excellence. Basketball, golf, media, fashion, she's conquering it all. And that's exactly what's breaking Angel Reese. Because this isn't just a win for Caitlyn, it's a mirror for Angel. Every part of Clark's rise exposes Reese's weaknesses. Caitlyn's focus versus Angel's outbursts. Caitlyn's grace versus Angel's jealousy. One moves quietly, the other loudly. And in today's world, quiet power wins. It's not that Angel isn't talented. She's one of the best rebounders in the league, a fierce competitor, and a gifted athlete. But she can't escape the shadow Caitlyn casts. Every time Clark's name trends, Reese gets pulled into the conversation, whether she likes it or not. And this time, it's worse than ever. Because Caitlyn Clark didn't just land another endorsement. She became the face of 2 leagues at once. And no amount of Twitter drama can compete with that kind of legacy. By the next morning, Angel Reese tried to walk it back. She claimed the tweet was just for fun. But the internet wasn't buying it. The screenshots, the memes, the debates, it was too late. Caitlyn Clark stayed silent. No response, no shade, no press comment. And that silence made her look even stronger. Because in an era where everyone's talking, Caitlyn's power comes from restraint. Every tantrum Angel throws becomes another marketing win for Clark. Every insult turns into another sponsorship opportunity. Angel doesn't realize it yet, but she's fueling Caitlyn's rise every time she reacts. Meanwhile, brands are doubling down. Nike's already planning golf clinics and cross-promotional events. The LPGA is streaming tournaments at record levels. And Caitlyn's face? It's everywhere. TV, merchandise, billboards, you name it. She's not just the future of basketball. She's the symbol of women's sports dominance. And the more people hate, the more powerful she becomes. But here's the real twist. Insiders say this LPGA partnership is only the beginning. There are talks of a charity showcase pairing WNBA and LPGA stars together. Imagine Caitlyn Clark and Nelly Korda teeing off side by side on national TV, while Angel Reese tries to smile through the tension. That's not just a brand play, that's dominance in motion, and Angel Reese has a choice to make. She can keep fighting shadows online, or she can evolve. Because right now, her name only trends when Caitlyn's does, and that's not sustainable. If she wants longevity, she needs to stop reacting and start rebuilding. But as of today, there's no question who's winning. Caitlyn Clark is building an empire that no one can touch. Basketball, golf, media. She's playing chess while everyone else is still learning checkers. So here's the question. Is Angel Reese watching jealousy destroy her legacy in real time? Or is she about to make the comeback of her life? If you're still watching, drop Clark to LPGA in the comments. Let's see how many people are riding with Caitlyn all the way. About to get messy.